Awesome, awesome. Okay. Now that I have everything under control live-wise, um, let's go ahead and make some art together today. I have decided to focus this particular art project around, sorry if I say the name wrong, Pietra Shahalski's blah, 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 labor camp. There's my brain. It's a exhibit that we already have at the Art Institute. It's a beautiful piece. It's a daily drawing collection that the artist made to kind of mark the dates and the changes that happened last year when we were in quarantine. They're very, some of them are really challenging to look at. Some of them are very beautiful to look at, but all of them are in black and white. And they're all depicting things that happened during our quarantine period that last year, and really talk about his feelings about it, the good and the bad parts of it. So today, based off of that, I wanted to make lanterns because without the light, you can't have the darkness. They both go hand in hand, and they're both very powerful sources of inspiration that we all should be paying attention to. There are moments in our life that are very good, very positive, but you kind of remember them because of the lows that you've had in your life. And I think lanterns are a beautiful symbol of that. So today, I'm going to be showing you a few different styles of lanterns, but all of these are based around drawing, your idea, your thoughts about things that are going on in your life. And we're gonna craft them and create them into something beautiful, hopefully. You don't have to fold these into lanterns if you really like the painting or the drawing that you make. Absolutely keep them. But today we're going to take our markers, our white paper, our cutting tools. If you have rulers of any kind, if you really like things to be precise, this is a great thing to have beside you for this particular project. And then we're gonna glue everything together at the end. Optional things that you can have to make these really elaborate are tissue paper. I choose black because we are basing our artwork off of this artist's work, which is in black and white. And string if you'd like to hang these up somewhere later on. So I'm going to turn my face cam off so y'all can focus on my hands, what my hands are doing. And I will go ahead and show you all a few different styles here. All right. So I have here a cutting mat because I want to use my X-Acto knife today. You don't have to use this. This is for like detailed work. I really like to get into some of the crevices of my designs. I really like to get some shapes going. Here's an example. If I'm cutting lines that are in the middle of my paper and I don't want to fold or create any creases, then I will use my X-Acto knife for that. And it just creates different textures, or not so much textures, different lining work that you can see on your lanterns as you go. Here's another example where I drew something beneath the work, but this side has been folded and cut down the middle. You can also get this design if you are using an X-Acto knife and it won't have that crease there, but I kind of like it. It bulges it out, gives it a little bit more 3D texture or 3D shape to it. I have texture on the mind today. All right. Clear this space off. Let's go ahead and start off with our drawings. So a lot of the exhibits artwork is based off of things that were happening last year and how he was digesting that information. I think that it's a beautiful process to do, making art and allowing it to help you get through hard times, or just think about ways that life could be different, or how it's going to change things, and maybe it makes it a little bit easier that way. I think it's a good thing for us to practice, even if it's just doodling. I really enjoy making patterns. Keep in mind as you're doing this that we're going to be putting these pieces together. So we're going to leave some room here and here so that we can glue these sections together. So I might just, I'll do a mark for myself because I know I'll forget as we get going. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch, the same on this side. There. And use my long, just to mark it. My long ruler. There we are. Awesome. So those are my cutoff points. Anything that I draw is going to be in this area here. That way, when I go to put everything together and I start to fold or wrap these around, then they're not cutting each other off, and I still have a beautiful picture in the middle. So when I think about last year in particular, I start to think about all of the time that we had. So today I'm going to draw a clock, and I really like having exact circles. So I'm going to use the things around me. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you want things to be very free-formed and free-flowing, feel free. I look at this as a way for us to tell a story. And if thinking about last year is too much, I like to think about summer. What is one of your happiest memories of summer? And then once you've thought about the really happy memories, we'll go ahead and we'll do some drawings based off of maybe the not so fun parts or the difficult parts of having a summer break, or being in summer, or working through summer. Whatever your whatever's going on in your life, that's what we're going to focus on. And let's see, I'm going to try to tilt you all so you all can see, and I'm not in, there we are. All right. So I was drawing a clock. What else? I think of time when I think of summer, because I think that it's a lot of free time that I usually don't spend in the winter time taking care of myself. And here in Minnesota, it's really warm. So we only have that for a limited amount of time. I'm starting with pencil, and then I'm going to go over the top of my markers, just because I can erase in pencil, but once it is in marker or black ink, whichever you have, it's a lot more difficult to make corrections on that. This could be, if you'd like, a way for you to practice um, that more permanent drawing style, just pen to paper or marker to paper. But today I'm going to start off this way. 7 o'clock, but I kind of want to make it round and kind of wiggly. I noticed with this particular project that Blue's Clues style artwork works best because they're really kind of blocky and cartoony, and the lines are really easy for you to cut things out of, and you can always come back and add detail. I also think about pie. I really like food, and one of my favorite foods is pie. My birthday is pie day. I like apple pie, but I also really, really like banana cream pies, which are my favorite. And remember, these don't have to be perfect. They are your own memories, your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own feelings. The beauty of making art like this is that we can really focus on things that are going on in our life, or things that have happened in our lives. They don't have to be uh, totally true moments either. We all experience them very differently. If you were to watch a movie with your friend and ask them if they liked it, they'll pick out different parts that they either liked or disliked. Maybe they hated the movie. Who knows? But that's the beauty of sharing those memories with each other, and uh, having dialogue as we do. I'm adding a little details here. I've added squares here because I want to cut those parts out. Um, and as we go, I'm going to um, think about parts of summer or last year that were difficult. I think being inside was very difficult, especially when there is so much on your mind that you feel like you could be doing or you should be doing. Um, I feel like being a certain amount of space away from each other is also difficult. Once you have that, you don't, you start to realize how much that you actually interact with people on a more intimate level, or an unconscious level. Um, I like that we've all been ingrained with the 6 feet away policy. Uh, I don't think that that will ever leave our minds. Um, with this, though, I think I'm going to add uh, some lines to fill the space in. I think lines make really easy backgrounds in some cases. I think I'm gonna add a sun here on one of these lines. Give him some funky glasses. All right. So there is the base of my lantern. I've kept all of my drawings inside of the lines because these are going to be the points that I connect everything with. What I might do is, no, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I'm going to take another sheet of my paper. And I'm going to take about an inch from a separate piece. I'm going to do this before I forget. And then I will, there we are. Cut. It was not a straight cut, but it was a cut. A handle for this because I do want to hang it up somewhere, and you don't need yarn or string to do it. You can just cut a strip of paper if you'd like. So I'll put that to the side. I'm going to start filling these spaces in with my black marker and make lines that I want more bold. Maybe add some in. Maybe exaggerate some parts as well. And if you are just joining, we are creating some artwork that was inspired by the exhibit at the museum that is called Labor Camps. It is a collection of daily drawings that Pietra Shahalski, I hope I didn't butcher that. He drew last year during the quarantine while he was in you know, our isolation, our moments of social distancing. And they are beautiful depictions of both very difficult and very interesting changes that have happened in our history. They are all in black and white, but we all know everything is not black and white. But they are absolutely beautiful pieces. You all should check them out if you have time to. And we're using this lantern making today as a way to digest the things that have been going on. What's going on in your life? What positive things have been happening? We framed our work here around summer. What's a happy memory that you have about summer? And what's something that was more difficult for you in summer? I did um, mine with some things that I liked. I like apple pie. I like that feel like I have more time in the summer. At least it feels that way. Um, but time is also a reminder for me that last year felt like I was running out of time, and I think it had everything to do with uh, the social distancing and the health scare that was going on. Everyone is really concerned. Not that we're over it yet, but um, going in with no vaccines and no idea of how long it would last, I definitely struggled last year in the summer. Um, but there's lots of sunshine. I'm going to draw some different features, and all of them are easily done using a marker, white paper, and your own thoughts, your own thought process. And as I add things and as I take things away, I think about filling more space in with uh, my black marker, and about maybe taking some things away. Using that black marker as a way to cover up some of the flaws that I made when I did my initial design. I did all of this in uh, pencil first, and then now I'm going over everything. That's the process that works best for me. If you are more courageous than I am, please feel free just to put marker to paper. I'm gonna add more of these black lines and make some of them thicker. I don't know why I have a black sun here, but I do. I'm gonna put a little smiley face on them. Kind of looks like a light bulb now that I did that. But all right. So now that I have finished with my drawings, I'm going to start to cut out details that I like, that I want to show um, through the light. So I'm gonna um, start cutting out sections. I put a lot of different squares into this pie here. And I said this at the beginning, I'm using an X-Acto knife. You don't have to use this. Um, if you'd like, you can definitely get around this by using a scissor. I'll show you some other styles that I've used scissors with. But take your time. This is a way for us to decompress, to think about the things that have happened, to think about the things that are still happening, um, how they make you feel. It's a good way for us to maybe reconnect with some feelings that we haven't felt before or sit with some feelings that are uncomfortable. A lot of times we try to avoid things that make us feel bad or sad or uncomfortable. And sometimes those feelings are the feelings we actually need in order to make it to our next destination, in order to advance us or to make strong, our own personal beliefs, or to forgive someone or to let go of something. Difficult feelings sometimes help remind us of the good things that we have. If you spend time digesting them, don't wallow in them. Don't stay there forever, but acknowledge that you have them because we're human, and then keep moving. Ooh, I think I need a new blade in this one, but we're gonna keep going. You really should only use your X-Acto knife uh, by making lines away from you. I do not do that. Be careful. Don't cut yourself. For younger folks who might follow this later or jump on here, um, be aware that these are paper lanterns, and that if you are trying to light these up later, that you should have an adult with you. Paper is flammable um, and dangerous, but these can easily be lit up by flashlights, by tea lights, if you have battery powered ones, if you have, um, I know there's a bunch of them at the dollar store I've bought before. You can also use cell phone lights if you have a cell phone. Those work just fine. I'm going to make some lines here. This, cut a large chunk out. I'm not going to cut all of these white sections out. I think they add a lot of structure to it. When you are cutting, be aware of the fact that you are going to have to fold these over onto themselves, or round these overs onto themselves. So if I go in and I have a design like this and I cut the hands out, that's the space that the light is going to come through. So maybe I want to keep the hands of the clock on here, and I just want to cut out some blank spaces so that I can keep that black line there. Or maybe I would like to cut out um, the frame of it. But then how are people going to know that it's a clock? When you're doing your designs, think of what space you're going to be needing for negative space, and which space is going to be your active space, what space is going to be filled with something, and how the light can shine through that particular portion. I think it's fun to take different sections out and see what happens. But if it takes away from your design, you might have to figure out a way to tell that story with that symbol or that imagery in a different way. I struggle with making circles with this because I get impatient and I want it to happen quickly. But turning the sheet helps out a lot. Another important piece is that you should keep your tops intact as just as much as you want to keep your sides as we go, because it also helps to maintain that structure that you need in order for this to stand up. All right, I think that is about it for me. I think I might add a little here. You'll notice that your cuts start to become part of the design, that you can make straight lines or that you can create more flowing designs. Go up here. With anything, because it's paper, we have to make sure that we're not ripping it, that we're trying our best to keep it in its shape. So we can do one of two things now that we have cut our design out, and now that we have some black space and some imagery on our paper, we can go right in and with your glue, whatever you choose, put a dab of glue on this side and then fold this over and create our lantern that way. Or, like I had mentioned earlier when we went through our supplies list, if you'd like to make this more abstract, you can use black tissue paper. You're going to take your glue and you're going to go all the way around the outside. Be very careful because of how thin this is. And you'll put it down like that. And you notice right away that now you've made much more black space and black markings on your design, and that they're showing through that white paper that you have. As cool as this is, I think I'm going to keep it as it was. Just like this, nothing underneath. With my glue, I'm going to put a line across and fold it over. I like to dome it and then kind of push my hand through the center of it to smooth it down. There we have a finished lantern piece. From here, I take my scrap piece of paper. I'm going to put a dab of glue on each side. And then I'm going to, with that glue side, put it on that crease where the two designs come together. And then over to the other edge. And now I have a handle to hold my lantern up with. let's see, some other quick lantern ideas. Once you have this design down, other ways for you to create some black and white lantern um, designs, or if you just like to make the actual lantern itself without doing the drawings, a quick and easy way for you, or a different way for you to do it, is to, um, on your white piece of paper, um, add a, maybe I'll get a fresh one. I just realized that's the one that I cut. With your ruler, if you're someone and you're like, I really don't want to do any drawings, I don't want to put any designs down, go in with your ruler and your blank piece of paper, and I'll do it this way. I'm gonna line mine up and start making lines. I like to leave a few centimeters at the top. You can leave an inch or more if you'd like, but I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to make lines all the way up and down. Another part of the exhibit that I really enjoyed is that he also used words um, as ways to express his frustration or his fear or his uncomfortability about the changes that were going on. I think that it's important for us to acknowledge that words can also be art, that poems can be just as beautiful as paintings. Um, so when you're doing this one, um, keep in mind that on every line, we can utilize our words to express how we're feeling about things that are going on. So on here, um, now that I have all of my lines, I'm going to start writing down things that I like. So just like that last one, I'm gonna put, um, excuse me, people. I like people. And that can be a good and a bad thing. Sometimes um, you like people, but you don't like their actions, or you like people and you get frustrated sometimes with people. That's totally fine. Um, I'm going to move on and say I like art, things that were difficult for me, or um, distance. Um, I'm just going to put an arrow here and put 6 feet. I'm just going to fill all of these lines in um, with things that are my likes and my dislikes. Um, ooh. And maybe what I do on these as I write them is add imagery to it. So if I have pie here, maybe I draw a pie. And you'll notice that I'm not doing this in marker, or that I'm doing this in marker and not in my pencil like I was before. But this one will be a quick one. There we are. So I've written all these in. I've put my lines in. I'm going to go ahead and take the sheet of paper that I have with all of my likes, my dislikes, things that I struggled with last year, things that I'm still struggling with now. And I'm going to fold it over. So from the back side, the side that you did not draw on, fold that part over and crease down the middle. And with my scissors, I'm going to cut each line. Careful with the pieces that you've already cut. You don't want to tear them off. These are not pull tabs. We're not creating flyers, take one kind of things. We are going to turn this into an actual lantern at the end of this, I promise. Open that up. And the same process as the last one. We're gonna put our glue here. Maybe I should have put it on the other side, but this is where we are. I'm gonna fold it over. We're gonna line it up as best as we can. And down the middle, connect it. See if I can cut a more straight line with this. I'm going to here, line it up. I like this mat because it has the added lines to it, but even though I have them, sometimes I don't cut straight, and that is part of the process, isn't it? Much better. Same process again. A little piece of or dab of glue on each end, and we're going to push one side of our handle on where that crease or that conjoining part is, and then go all the way across. And boom. We've made another lantern, and you've gotten a chance to write out or draw out things that are close and personal to you or that mean something to you. When you're doing a project like this, keep in mind that it doesn't have to be all the way down the middle. You can also take it and make your cuts up higher. That process is the same, but you are, instead of making your lines all the way down the middle or taking up the entire length of the artwork, you'll keep your lines towards the top or the bottom. Could also be the bottom if you'd like. I'm putting lines here. And then taking this and folding that part in half. And whatever details that you've written in here or drawings or patterns that you've drawn will fill this space up. And when you've gone through and you've cut them, it'll form just a little bit of a different design. I've made quite a few of these now since I started working on this project, and they've been a lot of fun. And it's been very interesting creating these designs and seeing how they come together. Lanterns can be big or small. They don't have to be specifically round either. So if I were to glue this portion down as I struggle with it, you'll notice that it creates a bend here at the bottom. And it gives it a different shape or design. Another fun thing that I like to do with different layers of paper is place, create frames for it. Frames can be a lot of fun. This takes us a few minutes, so I'll do this very last because we are almost at the time that we are done making art together. And with this, I'm gonna make a few shapes here on one side. With my scissors, go in and cut those large shapes out. There we are. And from here, I'll also take this cutout sheet and lay it on top of my blank sheet. And then I would do my drawings here on the inside. And same thing, use my black marker over the top to create designs and things that I like. But now you have a really cool frame to work off of, and it adds a little bit more depth to your design. It's a lot of fun to experiment with. Sometimes I like to add just blocked print underneath, and it kind of looks like a window when you're done. So I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for joining me today. If you're rewatching this, I hope that you take away something that is helpful for you and your artwork and your design process. I hope that you continue to make artwork, that it continues to be a part of your life. And thank you again for sticking with me for this long. I'd love to see what you make, whether that's photos sent into the museum, or if you just like to show your artwork somewhere, or if you see me out somewhere and you would like to connect that way. But we are at the end of our time together, and I have no more lanterns for you. So I hope that you all can take this and make your own lanterns and have fun this summer and make positive memories, and maybe use this as a way to digest your own life and things